Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comics for over 40 years. I'm showing off my collection one box at a time. Today, we're looking at box number 26. Checking my notes, we are going to start with the last series of Batman Incorporated and go through Batman No Man's Land. And we'll have some cool stuff there in between. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things. Let me know how it's going. And if you'd like for me to do a video showing some of the stuff that gets skipped because it's inside of a package, I'm more than happy to do that as well. So let's go. All right, here we go. So picking up where we left off last time, we've got the more recent Batman Incorporated series that came out. I kind of like this series, but I wish that I could really get in, like a who's who to really define all these characters, because some of them don't get a lot of descriptions and things. So, but anyway, it's issue 1, and we continue through issue 4. We find out, I keep forgetting this guy's name. What is it? Shadow something, Shadow Hunter, whatever. He had a sidekick once, and he left him behind or something, and so he's come back to get him. So that's issue 4. Got issue 5 there. They were pretty much just let the artist, just this creative team, just do your thing, man. Just tell your story. So that's issue 5 right there. Issue 8. The Joker creates his own Jokers of the World team right there. Some different nut job heroes from various countries. Issue 9, Batman Incorporated. Like, I'm really curious about the guy in the spacesuit. That doesn't seem like a very efficient way to fight crime in hand-to-hand combat. Or is it a really great way to fight crime in hand? I don't know. I need to know more about that guy. That's Batman Incorporated 9. And that series ends, as so many do, with Batman Incorporated 12. A one-shot, a couple of one-shots. Batman Incorporated Leviathan Strikes. So this is Morrison and Burnham, so this must be, it's DC. So this is New 52. Still, doesn't say New 52. I could be wrong about that. No, it's 2012. So yeah. Anyway, that's that one shot. And then we have Batman Incorporated Special that came out in 2013. There. Then we get back into some one-shots. We've got Batman Joker's Apprentice. Kind of I can't remember if it doesn't say Elseworlds. It's just a Batman Joker story. There. Got the New 52 era. We've got Batman Joker's Daughter with the new version of Joker's Daughter. Not last video, we met a Joker's Daughter in Batman Family. This was sort of a new, idea for her, and I think this is fairly safe to say something that just when Rebirth came along, they just kind of have let this Joker's Daughter go. Or maybe we have 2, but I think they're both named Duella Dent. I don't know. But anyway, she got a special. And then I think I don't have this full series, Batman Journey into Night. It's on my dollar box want list. It's kind of a early Batman Learning to be Batman series. I've got this is issue 1. It goes through issue 4. I think this is like a 12-issue series, though, something like that. But I only have those. For you Dredd fans, we have a couple of Batman and Judge Dredd team-up books. Batman, Judge Dredd, Judgment on Gotham. Simon Bisley on art, on the cover, well, on the interiors as well. Right there. And Batman, Judge Dredd, Vendetta in Gotham. Mike Mignola, cover there. And good stuff. Oops, sorry. Voila! There you go. You would think the comics are only so far away. They're always the same, basically the same distance. Why is this having so much trouble? Anyway, Batman Kings of Fear miniseries from a couple of years ago. Just an old school Kelly Jones, Scarecrow, Batman versus Scarecrow miniseries. If you like Kelly Jones, you really want this. This issue 6 of that. Batman Last Night on Earth. I say that on purpose. Last Night on Earth. Black Label out of canon series. A clone of Batman in the future walks across a wasteland with the animated head of the Joker in tow. What more could you want? It's issue 1. And that runs through issue 3. There. Batman Legends of Gotham. Weird little, another one of those, why did they do this kind of things, but you got Red Hood going up against Katana. Legend, but maybe they wanted to secure the trademark on Legends of Gotham or something. But one shot right there. And then we get into something that's going to be a bit of a long haul. So gird your loins. We got Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. Long run series telling stories that are kind of mostly early days in which you don't know exactly what order they happen in. Just, they're the early days of Batman. There's a period where when they get into crossovers, when there's big, events going on in the main books, then it will tell, they'll include these in there. But here we go. So this is actually the 0 issue that came out a few years after the series had started. Back when they were doing 0 issues of all the series at the same time. So that's Joe Quesada artwork on that Batman. Joe Quesada fan. So then we get to the actual issue number 1. Early version of variant covers. There were like 5. Each one of them was just a different color. And if you open it up, you do have kind of a normal color cover on all of them. And this was, after Batman and Detective, this was the first ongoing solo Batman book. So a little bit of trivia that they were tossing out there on the cover. And Shaman is the first multi-issue arc that they were presenting in Legends of the Dark Knight. And each real cover, normal cover, progressed this shattering of Batman coming out of this skull. So there, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight number 5. Gothic by Grant Morrison. Something to do with Bruce Wayne when he went to a boarding school, and ghosts and things. Ghosts and number 9 continues that Gothic storyline. Klaus Janson soloing on art. We've got Prey, Paul Gulacy, known for Master of Kung Fu, doing art on a Batman storyline. There, issue 12. We've got issue 13 of that. This is Batman going up against Hugo Strange. Professor Hugo Strange, Catwoman involved. She's got a tail. Got this guy who's a cop who goes out to fight crime with a sword every night. Apparently, he thinks guns are for wussies. That's issue 13. That continues into issue 15. Batman gonna fight sword guy. Right there. Okay, sorry. I found some stuff wasn't bagged right, but the correct issue wasn't on the outside, so it looked like I was missing number 16, which I am not. This is the first issue of the Venom storyline, which introduces the substance that will later be used by Bane. So that's Batman Legend of the Dark Knight. We've got art by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. That continues in issue 20. There. Beautiful art. Beautiful art. Gotta love Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. And I still have it wrong. Anyway, and there's issue 17. Right there. Which is part 2 of the storyline that we were just talking about. Set that off to the side. Just move that, switch that around. Then Batman recovers from drug addiction in that storyline by just staying in the cave for a while and just toughing it out, going cold turkey. Anyway, Faith, kind of an early concept of Batman working with younger assistants, and he says, "I'll never work with a younger assistant." Ha ha ha. Yes, he will. That's Batman 21, Legends of the Dark Knight 21. Flyer. Batman going up against an armored foe. Gil Cain art on there. I think that storyline continues in issue 25, right there. And then we jump to issue 32, Blades. Batman going up against a guy, I believe he was supposed to be kind of a good guy, with a sword. Good guy with a sword in issue 32. And that continues in issue 33 of Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. Then we jump to issue 36. Destiny, Batman versus Toxic Waste Disposal. I don't know, I can't remember what happens there. Issue 37. Batman goes up against Mercy. Big, tall, strong woman. They can't all, they don't all have elaborate plots. Batman Legend of the Dark Knight 40. Mask. I don't remember that one. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 41. Homage to Sunset Boulevard. Right there. Batman goes up against an actual vampire. Batman 44. Batman deals with, I think, corrupt cops, if I remember correctly. Here's Sean McManus on art. kind of in that Paris Cullens kind of. It is stylized, but I still kind of like it. The artwork, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 45, continuing that turf storyline. We got 49 Heat. We've got this. We kind of got that. We got Catwoman, Catman going at it, and it's hot. Man, it's hot. There's so much heat. Then a celebratory issue, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 50. Got a main story, got kind of like a bookend story that's happening, but then Batman starts hallucinating, and his hallucinations are basically pieces of art from upcoming Batman Legends of the Dark Knight storylines. So you get, like, at the time you were getting a little taste of what was to come in all of the upcoming storylines. And then we go to Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 54, Sanctum, Mike Mignola art of Hellboy fame. Don't remember the story, I'll at least tell you who the artist is. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 55, Watchtower. Batman has to get to the roof of a building, or the top floor of a building for some reason. I remember not digging this one very much. Mike McMahon, very icky art there. 55. Then we get into some of the part that, where it's crossing over with the actual other books, and it's more of a standard Batman book. So this was part of the Night Quest storyline, Quarry, Part 3. Eduardo Burrito art on that. We've got Night's End, again, part of that storyline, which is Part 4. Devils with Asbat, as we call him, the Azrael Batman that has taken Batman's place. Then we jump back for a while into individual stories. Got one where the Joker goes sane. He gets hit on the head, goes sane, and becomes a normal person for a while anyway. Which they don't show him being sane on the cover too much, because that wouldn't sell funny books. So, but inside, I promise, he went sane. That kind of thing. 68 is the culmination of that story. Amazing culmination, right? Batman Legends 69, Criminals. I don't know, but Mike Zeck art. You're into Mike Zeck from Punisher, Captain America. There's a Mike Zeck cover for you. We've got 76. The Sleeping. I seem to recall Batman being in like Ireland or Scotland or something in this story. Scott Hampton on art. And that continues in issue 77 of The Sleeping. Right there. We've got an early version of sort of the Contagion thing with a disease going around here in Batman Legends of the Dark Knight number 84, Infected Part 2. Warren Ellis doing Batman Legends 85, Citadel. Tony Salmons, I remember him from Marvel art, did the one with the fashion model that didn't sell very well. Anyway, there you go. Number 92, cousin Will Simpson doing something called Freak Out, involved some psychotropic drugs kind of which continues in 93. I remember I had to stop buying this, and so a lot of these I bought as back issues, and I was reading these storylines out of order, so you know, that's why I'm kind of not remembering some of them a lot. 93, 97, Dirty Tricks, Landing in Abnett, finishing up. So there's some magic stuff going on there. Got Steps. Why do I feel like so many of these stories are just Batman trying to get to the top floor of a building? I may just be remembering it wrong, but like this one he's trying to get down from the top of a building, maybe, I don't know. But 98, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. Number 103, Spook, kind of doing a modern version of, I think, the Spook, who was one of his like 70s, 80s villains. There in issue 103. We're just getting halfway there, guys. Pause it and grab a drink if you need to. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 104. Continuing the Spook story. And Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 109. A Riddler storyline. There, Steve Englehart, classic Avengers writer. Well, classic Batman writer, too. Doing that story. Primal Riddle continues in number 110. Are we focused? We're focused. We jump back into things that were going on with other books. We've got the No Man's Land storyline. Huntress going up against Scarecrow over here. He's looking pretty spooky. There. Still in No Man's Land. Batman, I believe, dealing with people who are, you know, suffering from being in this this post-earthquake, Gotham City. 120. Got some Batman family teaming up. Let's get everybody together, since we've all been spread out dealing with No Man's Land stuff. Here in Batman Legends 120. Got Batman Legends 121. Power play going up against, I think, different villains in the No Man's Land, trying to take over different parts. Gotham 128. So now we've got into this one's the first team up of Batman and Green Arrow, and so this is the second issue of that. Stand by for a better cover showing the two of them together. But that's issue number 128. God, this guy was like a nuts Arthur, like he was cray-cray, kind of a bullseye kind of guy. But Batman and Green Arrow, and of course Green Arrow here is just starting out, so he just has his sort of very basic costume that he would be known for early on. 136. We've got the final issue of this crossover, which was Siege, with ties back to, we got art by Marshall Rogers, who was with Steve Englehart, whom I just mentioned. Did the classic run over in Detective Comics. And over here, I think this had a storyline that tied into that one time that Thomas Wayne wore a bat costume to a costume party, and thus was the first Batman. There in 136. Next in the series of one-word titles, we have Terror. We're back with Galassi and Professor Hugo Strange. So I imagine if you read those, you looked through and you found all the ones with Professor Hugo Strange in this series, it would be they would all kind of work together. Issue 137 there. Issue number 140. Catwoman again. Just look for any story where Catwoman has a tail, basically. And go from that's 140. We continue that in 141. Right there. We go to 148. So we're in a new storyline: Batman versus a really big dude. I'm pretty sure that was the plot. Just Batman versus that really big dude. We've got number 149, early story of Batman and Robin together. Joe Quesada artwork on this one, famous for a variety of things. And Robin gets tied up with a sort of a chick with a fairy tale shtick. 156. One of a couple of stories where Batman deals with this guy who I believe could, whomever he touched, he could see their future or their past. But he was blind, but when he touched something like that, there was a cool twist to this guy. I think Blink was his sort of code name that was never actually used, but that was an interesting guy, just an interesting idea for a character there. That continues in 157. Of course, we've got Norm Brayfogle on these covers. Good stuff. Got 162. Basically, Joker decides to make a movie, and hilarity ensues. In issue number 162. That continues in 163. Right there. I think even Hollywood is enough to drive the Joker crazy. Or Hollywood is crazy enough to drive even the Joker crazy. We've got 168. Urban Legend. Kind of dealing with Batman's public status and what people know about him and what they don't, I believe. Got Batman Legend of the Dark, issue number 169, Irresistible. I think this guy was one of those pheromone guys that nobody who touched them, anybody he touched would want to be his friend or more. Testament, City of Fools. Do not remember what this was about. So, but it involved rough justice. Let's see. I've got 173. Continuing Testament. This time, Betrayal of Brothers. Looks a lot like the Peacemaker group from the more recent stories. I don't know. Anyway, skull masky things. We'll go to 176. Shadow War. Looking at the signature on the thing. Kickstand Kids. Don't know who that is. The Testament storyline there. A mystery to us all. Got issue number 177. Cool Batman cover. I'm looking to see if that's Jock. Don't know who that is. But anyway, cool Batman cover. Right there. Guest starring Catwoman. 181. Batgirl. Of course, this would be a flashback, because Batgirl wasn't Batgirl at the time. But she's doing it up right there. That was a cool flashback. I remember seeing that. Doing her thing. Then we're gonna jump back into current continuity, as it were, with the War Games crossover that was going on. So we got a neat Batman cover there in issue 182. Then by the time we get out of this pack, we are out of that, and we are at a Riddler storyline in 188. Yeah, 188. Right there. Let's see. This was a full box. Bear with me. Pause and go to the bathroom if you need to. We're getting there. Batman Legends 189, continuing that Riddler storyline, whom we haven't seen yet. I think this is one of the ones where he gets like the big question mark tattoo on over his face or something like that we never saw again. Number 192, Snow, starting I believe it was a Mr. Freeze story right there. And that continues in number 193. And then we go to, yep, I was right. And goes to Batman Legends number 196. Coming up on 200. Aren't you excited? Let's go. Number 197. Blaze of Glory. Something has to do with this Batarang. I can't remember what the deal is, but that Batarang is significant. One in Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 197 and 200, which is not the end of the series. Don't get excited. But another Batman carrying the Joker storyline right there. Bart Sears, I believe, on art there. If I'm wrong, comment, let me know. 201, another of those. Is it John Arcudi? Is that who that artist is? We've seen a couple of them. Sweet, but going up against Clayface. Let's call him Clayface 3. To me, he's Clayface 3. I know they kind of have muddled that a little bit, but then we go to 204. Batman dealing with the madmen of Gotham. I see the annuals. We're getting there. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 205. Again, more of the man who drove Gotham mad. Right there. We've got issue 209. Batman and some lady doing things and stuff, and a fingerprint. It involves fingerprints. But then that lady passes out. I should just make up plots. And then that lady faints, and Batman has to pick her up because she was so shocked by the fingerprint that was, I don't know. That's Batman. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 210. And last but not least, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 214 versus Deadshot, everybody's favorite Suicide Squad member. I believe it must have been some background on Deadshot, that kind of thing, right there. So then we have some annuals, right? Got this one. It's Duel, which is just kind of a one-shot story right there. Batman going up against some kind of demonic dragony thing. We've got this this number 4, which was all of the annuals that year were Elseworld stories. So this one is Citizen Wayne with an allusion to Citizen Cain, right there. We've got annual 5, which is the year 1, where everything was a flashback to the first year of the character. And I think this would have been more like year 1 for Manbat. So Batman dealing with Manbat, who is more of primal and crazy from the start in this version. We got issue number 7, where they were all Pulp Heroes annuals, where they were pulp stories. Got all these beautiful painted covers right there. Batman Jazz,
miniseries. Well, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, Jazz. That's why it's like that. So it's a 3-part story. Ooh, Gerard Jones and Mark Badger. 2 reasons not to buy this. And that finishes up with issue number 3 right there. I buy it, so you don't have to. All right, Batman Lost. One of part of the Dark Knight's Metal tie-in right there. You need that. Zack Snyder. Now we've got Batman Manbat. So this title reads the same backwards and forwards, right? John Bolton art right there. Scary Manbat. And that continues through issue 3. This is an Elseworld, so it's not exactly the same way that the same Manbat storyline that is in the main universe. We've got this one I know because I just know it. It's Batman Master of the Future, the follow-up to Batman Gotham by Gaslight. So the story began there, and it continues here. It would soon be given its own Earth in the multiverse. Well, not about soon, but eventually. Batman Mitefall. Just a wacky Batmite reacting to the new Azrael Batman. There. Batman Mr. Freeze, one of the Batman, what is that? Batman Forever tie-ins that came out. Not that just, well, using the same characters, the same villains as had been introduced there. And there's these, you line these all up next to each other. You know, they are a continuing cover. But pretty stuff there. Batman Nightwing Bloodborne. Another disease out there. Can Nightwing find the cure fast enough to save the sickened Batman? And then while this was a storyline going through all the books, there was a couple of specials. Batman No Man's Land Ground Zero. Beautiful painted cover. I don't know if that's Glenn Orbick or one of the other painting cover guys. This was back when Huntress took on this costume first. Sorry to point to things, but Huntress took on this costume first, and then she gave it to Cassandra Cain. And sweet Alex Ross cover on Batman No Man's Land #1. That was 0. The other one was 0. This is 1. So that's the order they go in. And then, oh my God, when will he be done? He is done with Batman No Man's Land Secret Files and Origins. If you wanted to know more secrets of the No Man's Land, this is where you would go.
All right, that's box number 26. The next time we'll do box number 27. That's going to be Batman One Bad Day. I've only got one of those, but I've got one. All the way through Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we are working our way through the Batman alphabet, and I hope you will continue this roller coaster ride with me. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.